Bye, child. Love you.
I haven't been in the closet in a long time. Hello.
Hello there.
How's it going?
Good. Getting old is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the best part of getting old.
That's part of getting old, aside from the discounts that are offered to you, would be when your body just wants to remind you that it doesn't do stuff anymore.
Like,
Transition from sitting to standing without extreme pain, but be painful when sitting or when standing as well.
you got to start doing 50 squats a day and getting up off the floor without using your hands regularly.
At this point, I'd be happy getting up off the floor without crying. That'd be an improvement. Going upstairs without my knees going, nope, 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 every step, that'd be phenomenal.
Hey, you got to start somewhere.
And the starting point be me in the fetal position on the floor saying, no, thank you, I've had enough.
But then you got to get up. Yep. So you can start however you want.
Till I'm out. What I got.
You got to get up every day. Got to practice that.
The fetal position or getting up?
Getting up. You should be able to sit on the ground comfortably with your legs crossed, crisscross applesauce.
Stand up?
And then also be able to stand up from a sitting position without using your hands. Yes.
That sitting position or like a chair to standing up?
No, that on the floor.
Crisscross applesauce.
Yes.
Dude, I haven't been able to do that since I was 10.
Well, there you go. You got something to practice. How can you not do that? Can you sit crisscross applesauce?
No, I haven't been able to do that since I was a kid.
Okay. Well, just sitting from the floor then. You don't have to be crisscross applesauce.
Maybe I do, though. Now I'm wondering.
Can you sit on the floor?
Can I be on the floor? Yes.
Can you sit on the floor?
In what position?
Well, what position would you sit on the floor?
Some weird cross between an old-timey lady on a horse and a glamour shot. So
like George Costanza
very similar.
on the
Very similar, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, very similar. Maybe not as pronounced, like pushing my chest forward, but
Could you sit with your legs straight out in front of you?
oh, there's zero chance. My back would be like, nope.
So you got lots of things you could work on.
Oh boy, do I ever. And that's the least of my problems. Well, yes, let's continue the list of things I should work on.
Hey, I'm just helping you out. As someone who is aiming to live to 115, these are important things to work on.
That is true. It's true.
Still within my wheelhouse, still easy.
Depends on the day.
Well, if my back hasn't given out, but I do have the ability.
You have the ability to do it. Yes, that is true. That is true. I'm pretty sure when I had the ability to do it, Reagan was the president of the United States. That gives you any idea.
Yeah, he was president in the 80s. That was a long time ago.
Sure was. According to the kids, it was hundreds of years ago, if you ask them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's just nice.
Well, to them, that does feel like. I graduated high school 30 years ago. I just realized that. 30 years ago, I graduated high school. That's craziness.
Yeah. You gonna go to your 30th anniversary, like reunion?
Well, no, it's come and gone. It's past.
Gonna go to your 35th?
I never went to any of them.
See a pattern here.
So, no.
Avoid.
Do they have continuous ones?
No. I've never been to mine either. What am I, on the board?
Well, that's weird that you're asking about the 35th. I don't know.
It was like it was a bigger thing back in like sitcoms.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they'd be talking about the reunion and how I gotta go back to my reunion and blah, blah, blah.
Maybe it's an American thing.
Maybe. They made a whole movie about it. I mean, Michelle's reunion.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because they also have like prom. We don't have prom.
We got grad.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing.
No, there's no homecoming or homecoming queen or anything like that.
Because our kids literally thought that was just a Fantasyland thing. Like they didn't know it was an actual thing, just like hot dog stands.
So that might be a reflection more on us than on our children. Willow said something on the way home today about, oh yeah, because we were going through, coming back from the errand, and she's like, oh, that place looks just like Panorama. There's on right off 4th Street, Edmonton Trail. I'm like, yeah, no, that's a rehab center. She's like, oh, I didn't think those were a thing. Calgary has those? I'm like, yeah, there's a bit to unpack there. I'm like, yes, Calgary has rehab centers. We have several of them. She's like, oh, I didn't think that was a thing. And she said, like hot dog stands, I just thought they were made up. I'm like, no, rehab facilities are not made up like hot dog stands. And again, in that moment, I can't shame her because I'm like, have I failed in some way? But then part of me is like, nah, I'm worried if my kid doesn't think that rehab centers are a real thing.
Yeah,
I may have time for her to deal with that later when she's got friends dealing with it. Yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah.
So, what's on tap today?
Terminology.
Terminology.
Yes.
Words are very influential.
Yeah. It seems that we live in an era where everything needs to be labeled and hyped up. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
There's labels
Oh,
all
yeah.
the time. But there's two new ones
Oh,
that I've come across. Do you know what a lawnmower parent is?
yes, I do.
Can you describe it for our audience member, please?
Yes. So like there's helicopter parents. I always say there's helicopter parents, there's lawnmower parents. I love curling parents, which is probably very much the same. Where curling parents is like we are cleaning our ice perfectly smooth so our little rock can get exactly to the bullseye. And so the same thing with the lawnmower parents, right? We're making it
down any obstacles in their way.
yeah, so we make it nice and easy and smooth for them. Oh yeah. That's not a new term. That's an old
to me.
All right, there you go.
Like my vehicles.
So
they're not new, but they're new to me.
so what I say, like it's like we've got these babies with tender little bare feet and we're protecting their little feet. I'm like, you gotta put boots on those kids so that they can walk any terrain.
Or we'll give you that even further. Let them free range it and toughen up the bottom of their feet.
Yeah.
You don't need to put boots on them. That's just one more cost.
Yeah.
Hope those kids figure it out with calluses.
That's true. I've been to Fiji in the jungle with no pathways and a little Fijian with his machete, barefooting it the whole way.
A child?
No.
Oh.
But the kids would be as well, actually. The kids are in barefoot.
Bands of kids roaming around with machetes and calloused feet.
Well, in this case, it was a man.
Okay.
But his feet, when you look at the sole of his feet, they were thick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
We don't have that.
Do you know what a Velcro parent is?
I don't know what a Velcro, I've never heard that term,
So
but
give me your interpretation of it. Probably pretty much exactly what you'll describe it as.
Yeah, just like the overprotective parent who's like Velcroed and over monitoring, over supervising, involved in every part of their life.
Yes.
Essentially.
Yeah, so it's a parent who is deeply and often overly involved with their child, remaining constantly attached both physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
Let's unpack that one because that's the one that started this all. And then I stumbled across lawnmower parent and I haven't heard it. So how much Velcro is too much Velcro when it comes to parenting? Like, this is what made me think about it. There's a couple parts. I think we label far too many things. I think it's stupid, and we've talked about that before. I think, and Velcro parenting will go away just as quickly as any number of different labels that have been thrown out in the past 10 years. But for the time that it's here, what is the right balance of involvement, both physically and emotionally, with your kid to, I guess, prepare them, stabilize them, show them whatever? But how quickly can it go to the wrong side and be too much?
Yeah. Well, and this is the problem. I mean, this is the reason why, aside from screens, this is the reason why our kids are more anxious and depressed and suicidal than any other generation.
Okay, just real quick. Screens are bad?
Yes.
Oh, when did you? This is new.
A little bit.
Continue.
A little bit bad.
Little bit bad.
A little bit bad, as is this. So our job, like, this is the thing. We think because we've pushed them out of our vaginas, I'm going to say it.
Just for the record, no child has come out of my vagina.
Should I keep that? Should I take that out?
Why is it something bad with that?
I don't know. I say it regularly with my own children. Anyways, it's the truth.
They love it so much.
It's the truth. But anyway, just because we have given life to them, yes, we need to protect them and raise them, but they're not ours. They're not ours at the end of the day. And we got to remember that. Like, we need to help them become their own independent being. And if we're always hovering over them, they're never going to learn, right? And even like you sent me, like Andy often sends me these little videos of kids. And there's a girl, she's pouring sprinkles, and the dad's like, oh, dude, like, I think that's too many sprinkles, or you've got enough sprinkles. She's like, she's got the hand motion. Leave me alone. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do. and like she's got to figure it out, right? There's certain things. So we got to be there if they're about to walk off a cliff, if they're about to get eaten by a tiger. You know what I mean? If
Mhm.
there's something fatal that's about to happen, absolutely. We are there to clothe them, to dress them, to nurture them, to protect them, right? We are there to create the environment. I mean, I love the analogy of gardener. Like, I really think that our role should be that of a gardener, right? We can't change the tree, we can't change the plant that we're growing, but we need to nurture the soil, nurture the plant so that it, or tree, or, whatever it
Yeah.
is, our child in this case, so that they can grow strong and resilient. Now, that tree, if we use the tree analogy, it's got to face wind. It's got to face rain. It's got to face those things because if it's perfectly in this perfect environment with no wind in like a greenhouse, the minute that greenhouse goes away and there's a wind, it's going to fall over
Hmm.
because the roots never had to grow deep. It didn't have to grow sturdy,
Well, and
right?
that's immediately what I thought of when you said it is our job is to help because we just planted several trees in the past couple of years. Our job is nothing more than to put it in a position to plant its roots.
Yeah.
That's it. Give it the best conditions possible so it can plant roots,
Hmm.
right? And I think where the Velcro parent term gets that a little too much is you don't need to be close to do it in the way that I'm assuming parents like helicopter parents or lawnmower parents or Velcro parents are, because then you're serving only yourself, right? At some point, you have, like to your point, you don't own this person as much as you want to control them, as much as you want to direct them or whatever. You don't own them. So your job is to shovel whatever you need to shovel to
Hmm.
help them plant roots.
Yeah. And that's it. And it's going to do what, like, if you thought you were getting an apple tree, but it ends up growing pears, well, you're not going to dig it up and get rid of it, right? Like you just sometimes it's not what we expect, but we're still there loving it, nurturing it at the end of the day. And at the beginning, if we are using the tree analogy, I had to be around that tree, like especially in the summertime when it was getting hot. I had to make sure that I was there every day, that it was getting the water and nurturing that I did. But then the wintertime, I wasn't there and I just had to hope for the best. And that's kind of what we need to do with the kids. I mean, we can create the conditions, but we have zero control over outcomes. We have zero control over outcomes. We can do everything in our power to support positive outcomes. So then it's kind of wait and see what ends up happening. And is there something in the spring that I can do to help it,
Mhm.
nurture it and help it along? But we got to step back at some point and let it do its thing. Yeah, and so the kids are really like that. We're always there. I think, they need to know we are always on their side. We're always here for them, no matter what mistakes they have. But we're not there preventing them from making a mistake. Like that's important. We got to let them go and experience and try and that's without us monitoring, without us, like this tracking thing. It is mind-boggling how much kids are being tracked by their phone. It's
Mhm.
unbelievable. And how controlling parents are being over, you told me you were going to be here and you're 1 block away. Where are you? That's it. I have no trust in like it's just disrupting relationships. But I even see it with teens, like they think it's just an expectation and a norm to be known exactly where they are. Like it just mind boggled me the one day when Maya brought up her friend. Oh, my friend's just at the grocery store. Right. And they monitor each other. Or she was telling me at the university, like, oh, let's see who's on campus. And like had all of their friends that they were monitoring. I mean, it feels like very big brotherish, right? They're always being monitored, and that's a problem. And that's crippling them. It's crippling them.
Yeah. And that's the key part is all of this all of this focus on control or clearing the way or all that. It's going to ruin them. It's going to suffocate them. It is going to make them incapable of doing things. And I think, yeah, you bring up a good point with all the monitoring, right? Like, what is the point? Like, what are you accomplishing by monitoring your kid 24/7 like that? Like, really, what are you, it's exhausting. It would be exhausting for, like, I lose interest in what my kid is doing 5 minutes into her telling me. I'm like, I have no idea what's happening right now because it's not my life, right? I'm there. That sounds overly harsh and I don't mean it to, but what I mean is, if she wants to share with me what she's doing, great. But for me to go and pry and push it, I'm never going to get a good answer anyways. And it's an exhausting experience to try and figure it out. And then most of the time, if she does tell me, it's really nothing that I care about because it's, oh, okay, you went to the mall and you're rambling about something that happened while you guys were trying to get something from Orange. Okay, it really doesn't matter, right? And that's what I think people are losing sight of is the fact that your kids' lives aren't that interesting, right? And I don't mean that to be harsh. They're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be meandering. They're supposed to be fumbling around, figuring things out. They're supposed to just be allowed to relax, right? Not every minute has to be filled. Not every minute has to be controlled. Not every minute needs to be logged. Who cares? Like, who cares? My kids, if they want to tell me what's going on with their life or we have a shared interest, awesome. All day long, I'm in. But to actively go out of my way to try and, without them engaging me, figure out what it is they're doing, and then quiz them on it or grill them on it or lecture them on it, like, what does that accomplish? You're not going to change what they did. You're not going to have them go, man, you're so right. I should do that different. Like, it's not going to happen. So what are you actually accomplishing, right? And for those parents that are Velcro parents that are too involved, you're not doing it for your kids. You're doing it for yourself. And then you got to really take a step back and ask yourself, what are you doing with your life? Like, stop worrying about what your kid's doing with your life and ask yourself, what are you doing with your life? Because if you think that the goal is to wake up, like, I'm an adult, I'm not good at controlling my own life. I can't navigate adults. How do I think I'm going to be responsible for an additional person every single minute of the day? I set the I set the bumpers on the when they're kids in the bowling. You flip the bumpers up so the ball doesn't go on. That's my job as best I can, but I'm not going to be there the whole time. So sometimes it's going to go in the gutter, right? It's just going to happen. That's fine. Teach them how to maximize when it resets, or look for the reset, or do the like. There's tons of different analogies than me being so overly involved that it's just suffocating.
And yeah, and we're exhausting ourselves. And you know, like we're not there to prevent everything, to fix everything, to solve everything. I mean, we're again robbing them. And if you are Velcro, I mean, you're literally hurting your child. You're impairing their brain development, you're stunting their confidence and their resilience. You're probably alienating. I mean, we had an episode on why kids more and more we're seeing once they're adults, they're alienating their parents. They don't want anything to do with their parents. And this is a big reason why. Right. And so I do think that that's something. I just had another place where like the Velcro could be helpful. Oh, screens is where it could be helpful. Monitor the shit out of you. Ooh, now I just swore.
This is an explicit
Now
episode.
it's an explicit episode. You got to monitor screens. Like that's where you can get into. There is no privacy on screens, and there is no like.
So I'll go back to old school Caroline. No, it's still not applicable. Because if you really want to set it up, don't give them a screen to begin with.
Well, that's just it.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Again, you sure, but it's too late then anyways, because you've already given into it. So then you have to overcompensate by trying to be overly involved.
It's better.
Just don't give them to begin with.
It's funny. I just met with a girl today, like a tween girl, and she's like, how do I resist the temptation of like YouTube? And I'm like, you're not going to like my answer. She's like, what is it? I'm like, should not have any access to YouTube because it's not you needing to build your willpower or self-regulation. Like simply put, and she's like, when I'm 18, right? I'm like, yes, when you're 18. She's like, yes, my mother has already told me this. And I'm like, there you go. Right. Yeah. And like, well, obviously, but yeah, like that's the answer. Yes, they have to build skills, but not free range, on the screens.
Yeah.
I would say that there are some of those sort of boundaries that we need to place, but we can't prevent anything. We can't fix everything. And that's where people get burned out, is when they are trying to do all things and force an outcome. And especially like when I look at teachers or mental health professionals, like people who are in the people helping business, they get burned out when
Mhm.
they are trying to do all the things and, get kids motivated and get good at, but no, you're just going to burn yourself out.
Yeah.
And even be, and I, you know, this is a normal, and it happens a lot, quite common, where parents get extinguished, meaning their children don't bring them joy anymore, and they don't bring any reinforcement, and they like don't even want to be. They love their kids, obviously, of
Yeah.
course, but that's what where relationships end up is kids are just mad and resentful towards the parents, and the parents are burned out so much that they don't get any joy from spending time with their kids. And that's really
Yeah.
sad, right?
Yeah.
Like I look forward to every second that we get with our girls, especially now that they're older. I just keep reminding myself we've already spent 95% of the time we'll ever have with them. So every time is precious. So, like, I can't wait for Maya to get home from work today. Like, I'm literally like, I can't wait to see her, and kind of debrief her day and things like that. She might not be as excited to see
No, I
me,
was gonna say, I don't know that that's a two-way street for us. Pretty sure it's one way when we get involved,
but
but
but there's times where I come home and they're just like the puppies. They're
yeah,
coming, running to the door to come, even at 18 years old, to
yeah,
come see me, right? And that's how I know we did a good job.
yeah, yeah. That they actually want us in their lives,
And
for
if
sure.
we were over their shoulder all of the time for all things, and I do it like someone in the community, I overheard a parent like, Kate, come help water the lawn. One parent started and was like, no, you're too close. No, step back a little bit. No, it's too much water. Now go over here and go like nonstop. It was rapid fire. They, stopped to breathe, but that was it. Went in, and then the other parent came out and same thing and was like, I'm just coming out to watch. Like he was just literally watering the grass or watering the plants and stuff, right? And then the mom, rapid fire. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. In the 10 minutes that I was in that little spot, it was nonstop. And I'm like, I was just impressed with the kid that he didn't just like
Mm.
throw down the hose and like say, screw you, I'm out of here. But we do that all the time.
So okay, let's shift gears slightly away from that. Why? Why does this generation of parents do that?
Well, I think we've talked about it before,
We
but
have, but in the context of this though, right? Like, yes, we talked about it and how things have changed and this and that, but we haven't really discussed the specifics of what is wrong with this generation of parents,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
When did it go south? And again, we've talked about John, whatever his name's kid and all that and blah, blah, blah.
Walsh. Yeah,
Yeah.
Adam Walsh.
Like it to me, and I don't know that there's an answer to it, but whoever's listening out there, if any of this is sounding familiar to you, like it sounds like something you would do, maybe hit pause for a second and just
Mm.
ask yourself, what are you actually accomplishing?
Well, I always say, the challenge that I give parents is to give no corrective feedback for an entire week. Right. So not like, hey, dude, even if like even nice when we're like, hey, where did your shoes go? Hey, buddy, where's your jacket go? Like none of that for a week, just to see how much feedback, because 98% of what comes out of our mouth is some sort of correction.
Yeah.
I do think, like, if we go back, so yeah, the whole overparenting, stranger danger, fear for our kids started in the 80s. And I will say, like, it's not your fault, parent, if you're listening. It really is a whole society thing that we've got sucked into. I would say, so there was all of this, but I would say really the turning point was maybe 2007, for sure 2012, when we had social media, when everybody now is posting, look at my perfect
Yeah.
family and this is all you should do. And we look at the research, it's mind-boggling. Like 90% of the information that people get, whether it's for parenting, raising a kid, anxiety, it's from other influencers, like not even evidence-based, not even professionals who know what's out there. But I will say, even professionals who say, I'm a psychologist and I'm an expert in this, still giving faulty information. 90% of the information is gotten from social media, and like 96% of that is faulty
Yeah.
information. So it's this, and then the algorithms, and then you're fed, all of these things. And so there's this whole, like, it's not just, trying to keep up with the Joneses is in terms of the cars and stuff. It's like every aspect of our life and every GPA. And my kids got to be like, there is this shift that our kids need to be busy and every, oh my gosh, you need to learn a second language and you need to learn, piano and getting caught up in, all of that kind of stuff. And there's just the pressure. And yeah, it just kind of spirals from there.
Yeah. I think realistically,
and fear. I think a lot of it is fear and
well, yeah,
anxiety.
everything's fear.
Yeah.
Everything you're not doing as a parent is intended to make you scared and intended to make you try and do everything and everything. All it is just ways of telling you different things. Really, I think you're right that it's not the parent's fault, but I do think the parents that are out there that are truly thinking that they need to make a change or want to make a change, you have to demonstrate that.
Yeah.
Meaning, get rid of social media yourself. Stop rationalizing why you're okay being on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. And especially stop rationalizing it as a means of keeping an eye on your kid. Just get rid of it. Get rid of her from your kid. Get rid of it from, everything else. And then see where you're at then. Right?
Mhm.
See the conversations that you might have then. Because that's one of the big things. None of us have it. You and I've got LinkedIn. That's it. I think you've got Facebook that is merely a work thing, right? For the most part.
Yeah, I don't even go in to interact with it. I've got like a secondary thing that like posts stuff and yeah.
So get it to that point, right? And then actually see how much you're actually scared of and how much goes away when you sit down and actually interact one-to-one.
And just bite your tongue. Like just sometimes it's just that, like just step back and wait a bit, like let's see them. I love there's a clip from the movie Ray. I'm sure I've talked about it. So Ray Charles was not born blind. He developed his blindness as a child. And there's one scene where he's just developing his blindness. He comes running in and falls down and he starts crying, Mama, 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 I need you. And she starts going towards him, but she stops and just steps back and waits a bit. And he does. He gets up and he wipes his tears and now he starts exploring his environment. Yes, he even goes over to the fire pit and puts his hand like to feel the fire and almost burns it. She keeps her tongue closed, like bites her tongue just to see. And he starts realizing like, I can do it. But if she had run to him in that moment, she would have made him disabled. He would have been her disabled blind baby in her mind. And he would have been the disabled kid, helpless, dependent kid in his mind because he can't see anymore.
Yeah.
And just that 30-second pause, right? And then she realized, oh my gosh, he can navigate the world. He's got to learn to navigate the world.
Yeah.
And he realized, hey, I can. So, I mean, there's so much I want to say. And I know that, we don't have a lot of time, but I also want to say though, like, I wouldn't call us free range parents either, because I think, there's the overprotective, directive, big brother sort of stance, but then there's the permissive parents too, who just let their kids do whatever they want. Like that's not good either. And so there is, we know authoritarian parenting is the best parenting. So that's where there are boundaries, there are rules, there are expectations, and there are consequences, and we maintain those, right? They're firm boundaries. We're not yelling, we're not dangling the carrot. It's literally, dude, I'll know your choice. If you want A, cool. I'll know when you do this.
Yeah.
If you don't want A, cool. I'll know when you don't do this. It's your choice.
Yeah.
And we just got to present it like that too. But yeah, stepping back and letting them figure it out. If they come to us with a problem, well, what do you think? How are you going to figure that out? Dude, that sucks. Like, Willow wants to go to Finland with Ringette this year. Cool. Figure it out. How much is it? She's realized we're going to have to wait till next year.
Yeah, which is fine.
But now she's planning ahead, right? And it's amazing to see her step up, like thinking about what coaches we need, what sponsors we need, right? It would have been easy for me to swoop in and start taking over, but this is important. And maybe that's where you start. Yep. Find something that's important for your kids and let them take the lead on it. I'm literally going to do nothing until she says, hey, Mom, this is the task I need you to do for me.
Yeah, and she did that to me today.
Oh, did she?
She did. She's like, Dad, I need your help with this. No problem. I will help you with it.
Right.
Right? But not to take it over. I told her, I said, we'll have time before your game's on Friday. Let's sit down and we'll figure it out together and then you can keep going. right? It's not me swooping in. I gave her, she was asking about certain things. I'm like, yeah, you need to think about this. You need to think about this. You need to think about this. And she's like, oh yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah, cool. Right. Like I'm there to help. I'm like, I can help in this way. Right. But it's not a matter of me going, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to, because I don't know. Right. But
I've been impressed because I didn't even think of sponsorship, right? I'm like, wow.
she's like, there's no companies I can find that are willing to sponsor sports teams. I'm like, no, that's true. I said, but what kind of companies are you looking for? So we had a conversation around it. And she's like, oh, I'm like, a lot of people work for companies that have quiet programs that can do sponsorship, but you need to do some things first before they can go ask for that. She's like, okay. I'm like, and that's a secondary thing. You need to figure out how much this costs and what people need to be prepared to do for a commitment. And then we can pass that to the people that we're wanting to invite because they're going to need to know. Okay. Yeah. Right. So still, it's guidance over control, right? It's pointing her in the direction that she needs to think about it and then come back when she feels she's hit a wall.
Yeah.
And she has. She spent the past 2 nights just heads down working on this,
yeah.
right?
And structure, we ask open-ended questions instead of telling. Like, yeah, there's so
she's reached out to people in Finland and had conversations with them over email to try and get information.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a good experience that way. Yes, there are things that we will have to step in because me as a parent, if some random 14-year-old was asking my kid to go to Finland, I'd probably have questions. Yeah. Right. And she's identified that because a couple of girls have said, well, my parents will need to talk to your parents. I want to do it, but my parents, cool, happy to. We'll come up with a communication and we as a parent group can make sure that we're all cool and then hand it over. Because there's the other side of it too, which is the current team that she's on. Good team, good parents, good kids. Not a lot of independence for the girls. And so you're not getting participation like you would. You're not getting ownership in certain things like you would. We just did a bottle drive. It was a whole lot of standing around waiting to be told what to do when it should be, it's a pretty simple task. There are houses. You want to get your money, go figure it out, right? Some of them did, some of them didn't.
So I think this will be a good opportunity for all the girls. Like, if you want to make this happen, you guys got to figure out these pieces. Yeah. And it's funny, though, too, like I remember a couple years ago, Willow was having problems with her bank card and she needed to like set up online banking. I'm like, cool. Like, how are you going to figure out how to do that? She's like, I guess I need to call them. Cool. She's like, what's their number? Well, how can you figure that out? But I remember being there next to her because she called just in case, because I was the owner of like the joint account. But the woman was like, didn't know how to respond because it was very clearly a child on the phone. And she's like, because it got stolen. Her bank card got stolen. That's what it was. And she was just not used to, and she's like, is your mom there? And she's like, she is here, but it's my account and my card. So I'm here to figure it out. Right. Yeah. And so it's funny how fast. But I mean, this is a big example, but there's lots of ways that parents can. I was just actually working with a mom today where we talked about lunches. Lunches stress her out every night. And she's talking about how much, and then in the morning, like, because most nights she doesn't get it done. So then in the morning, and she's trying to get, and I'm like, what if they got their own lunches? And she's like, well, I don't know what they're going to pack. I'm like, most kids don't even eat their lunch. She's like, oh my gosh, my kids don't eat the lunch. I will spend hours cutting it into like fruit into nice little shapes and cutting their sandwiches into these beautiful things. And this is why it takes so long to make lunches. She's like, Caroline, they don't eat the lunch. I'm like, yeah. So what does it matter if they just take a piece of bread?
If that was all they're going to eat anyways.
Yeah, exactly. If they're not eating anything else, she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I can have healthy stuff, healthy snacks, cut up some vegetables, and then dinner's at 6. So that's on you if you're hungry, right? You got to figure it out for tomorrow. So like little things like that they can do. A 3-year-old can pack their own lunch. It might not be the beautiful lunch that you make, but I'm sure they would probably be pretty proud of whatever they made.
And they're more likely to eat it too. Yeah. Because it was their choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, if all you have is chips and chocolate bars to offer them, of course, that's what they're going to take. So just be mindful about what they have access to put into their lunch.
Is to provide the options that they can choose from, not to force it upon them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other last thoughts?
No, I think that's a big one, though, is just giving them more responsibility and big jobs, important jobs, not just like fold this one towel and I'm going to redo it when
Yep.
you're not looking,
Yep.
right? Like, I just think that those things are also very important.
Yeah. Manufactured helplessness doesn't do anything positive for anybody,
Yeah.
whether you're manufacturing it or your kid is.
Yeah. Even at school, like Halloween. So our teachers were on strike and they were coming back just before Halloween. And there were no, like they said, I think like the Wednesday, Halloween was
Yeah.
Friday or something. And they were saying, we don't have time or the capacity. And the kids are like, we can do it. We can organize everything. But the teachers didn't give them that chance. Willow really took, she's like, hey, we can do this and we can do this and we can do that. But the teachers weren't open to it, unfortunately. But that would have been a great opportunity in schools, right? Okay, if you guys can pull it together and by Thursday, tomorrow, or Friday morning, even Friday lunch, we've got a couple hours in the afternoon. If you can have a plan, we'll play out your plan.
Yep.
But
They didn't.
they didn't. They had a plan, but teachers did not
No.
listen. But anyway, that's it for me.
Great. Good day.
Good day.